sports gamer.
MLB The Show 19 is right around the corner. And it's that time of the year we start looking through the wish list of what we hope is in MLB The Show 19. Today we'll be going over to game modes such as franchise and road to the show. Make sure you subscribe and hit that alert icon for more MLB The Show news and wish lists. My name is Drew Moss, and we're going to get right into this list in no particular order. Some people prefer just a straight up season mode, and MLB The Show 18, they took it out. I don't really know why they took this out, so this should be pretty easy to implement it back in. Just have the abilities that you have in franchise mode, except only go through one season. And while we're on the topics of bringing back old game modes, let's bring back online franchise, or even an online season. It'd be pretty fun to play with friends inside of an online franchise or season. Have the option to do less games than 162 is a must inside those kind of game modes. Maybe there's only like 20, 40, or 60 games that you play in one season, and then the game can normalize the stats up to 162, and then you start the playoffs. Having some sort of online franchise is almost a must nowadays. And it's ridiculous when almost every other sports game has it, and MLB The Show takes it out. Being able to trade cash and maybe a player to be named later would be a huge addition to MLB The Show. Stuff like this happens all the time in the MLB. It would go a long way to help franchise modes out, as well as make them more realistic, and you'd have more trade options. Last year's budget system was pretty confusing, as it was mainly week-to-week based as opposed to yearly based. At the very least, make this an option. A lot of people found the weekly budget system very confusing and didn't really understand how it worked too well. Very unfriendly to the user. In old games, they would use year-to-year budget systems. Why not bring it back? I think this is something that would be huge for franchise mode, especially in MLB, where there is no salary cap. MLB The Show should look into putting real contracts, as well as expanding the contracts options for franchise mode and road to the show. Having Giancarlo Stanton's $325 million contract for 13 years could really help the budget system in this game. There seems to be a new wave going on in sports games, and that's one that MLB The Show is not doing. Madden allows you to relocate your team. NBA allows you to have an expansion draft, create a team, create the court, create almost everything, all the way down to the jerseys. There is a team jersey creator already in the game implemented in Diamond Dynasty. Let's try to get that implemented in MLB The Show. I'm not sure if create a ballpark would be something you could do, although it should be worth noting that MVP Baseball used to have this feature. Let's hope this year they finally added some sort of create a team feature inside MLB The Show's franchise mode. If you can create your team, then you should be able to create your coaches and managers as well. And if we can create managers and coaches for a create a team, then let's make it so we can edit managers and coaches inside franchise mode as well. This will also go a long way when it comes to roster editing. If we download a roster from 2002, then we can have the manager from 2002. And on this topic, can we do something to make managers and coaches a little more worth? Right now they can give small attribute upgrades and small decreases in other attributes. I think every manager could have some sort of personality that kind of improves or decreases your players' morale. And speaking of morale, let's put more morale options and the ability to turn some morale options off. It's kind of bad when you have a bunch of young players and they're mad about their contracts, even though they're under arbitration. And on the trend of creations, let's talk about custom leagues. The user should have as much control over the league as he wants. I'm talking about realigning divisions, realigning conferences. You want to put the Houston Astros back in the National League? You should have the power to do so. Should be able to change in-game rules. Maybe make everyone even and add a salary cap. I do believe you can edit the designated hitter rule, but let's go further than that. I want to be able to change every setting that's in MLB The Show's franchise modes. There's nothing wrong with being more user-friendly. They could really create their own image of what they want their league to be. Something that is a must that needs to be inside MLB The Show. Rotating interleague schedules. It's so annoying when you have to play the same teams over and over and over again, year after year inside franchise mode. I know me, as well as a bunch of other people, have really wanted this implemented. And I know San Diego Studios has heard this and has tried to implement this. Hopefully this is the year that they get it right. When you're playing Road to the Show, you have an agent. Every once in a while, the agent will call up and ask you how you're doing. Now from here, you got a couple options. I'm doing great. I don't like the team. Pretty generic stuff. And yes, you can request a trade if you say you don't like this team. But let's go further than that. You used to have a bunch of different options that you just don't have now. MLB The Show needs to add these back into the game, as well as the ability to call up your agent at any time. And you can go to your manager at any time. There's no reason we can't do this. You have a generic cutscene of when you approach the manager anyway after certain events happen. But instead of just hearing how I have a green light to steal whenever I want, how about I can ask him, hey, change my position. Put me third in the batting order. Put me fifth in the batting order. And you know, he might say yes, he might say no. That's the personality aspect of it. Old NBA 2K games made it so you could contact your owner at any time and say, I don't like this player. I want to be traded. Add something like that, MLB. And once again, and make it so we can contact our agent or manager or whoever you can contact at any time. So the last couple years, I don't know if anyone else has noticed this, but there has been a really annoying bug in terms of gameplay of RTTS. When you get on base, and it automatically, simulates a couple pitches, but you look at the pitch count, and it's like 2. A 2-on-1 count with 2 pitches thrown is not correct. They need to fix this bug, and it's been bothering me for like the last 4 years. I don't know if that's nitpicky, or if it's just some sort of error, or if it's actually a big deal or not. It might be a big deal in terms of stats, but it just bothers me that this doesn't get fixed when it's been there since at least MLB The Show 14. So with all the modern day technology, something that I think would really go a long ways to help in player creation would be face scans. Now I know so far only the basketball games have had this, and a couple of old EA games have had this, but a lot of sports can get away with it. You're either covered by a helmet or you're just getting beat up to a bloody pulp. But not baseball. Baseball, you can see their face pretty easily. So let's try to get some sort of face scan technology. Maybe use an app or something, or the PlayStation camera. I don't know. Something you can use. I think the actually best way to do it would probably be the way WWE 2K does it. And then you could just do face scans of every player that you need to. You just take a photo of them and you're good to go. And then the community can do that for all the players around the league. You can do it for your Road to the Show characters. It'd be a pretty cool feature. Okay, so something personally that this has been really bothering me for the last couple years is the contract inside Road to the Show. Yes, it's probably realistic to take the biggest contract you can possibly get, but what purpose does it serve? It serves no purpose at all. Have a system where your money actually matters and you can actually spend it, or maybe just a morale bonus, I don't know. But make these RTTS contracts actually matter a little bit, because right now you're just going to pick your favorite team after 6 or so years of being on a team that you don't want to be on. So modify the RTTS contracts and make them actually matter. Road to the Show already has a thing where you pick an upgrade and it will automatically put your attributes up or turn your cap up higher. But let's go a step further. Let's be able to actually manually do that yourself, at least once. I'm thinking kind of like a hybrid version of what Madden used to do and what they do now. Where if you do it once, you get a gold, now you don't have to do it ever again. But make it more like individual workouts, like it used to be back in like Madden 03 in training camp, I think it was. Those like mini games. Make something kind of like that. Make a bunch of mini games for each individual thing, and if you get gold on it, you never have to do it again. There is some similar like things already in the game, but they're really just kind of a bothersome. Let's make it where it actually really helps you, and make it a lot more fun too, because those, when it breaks the pace up in terms of season to do one of those workouts right now, it's just annoying, and no one likes to do it. Let's be honest. Who really likes to do those? And the last thing to RTTS, and this is huge for Road to the Show and any modern My Career mode right now, more story elements. NBA 2K has this whole story every single year. And it also has a long shot mode on top of that. FIFA has its own little story mode going on. Let's get something like that in my MLB The Show. I already briefly mentioned about contacting your agent whenever you want. But let's make it a little bit more like NBA 2K13, where you can contact your GM whenever you want. Complain about your teammates. Get some sponsorships. They have all these sponsors in the game, and apart from franchise mode, they don't really use them. It's cool to have these equipment and stuff in the game, but let's make it so you can be a sponsor of them. I want my created character's face on a Nike billboard outside of a stadium. Then you can have that on the scoreboard outside as well. You're sponsoring them. There's a bunch of fake sponsors also in the game. Just do something like that. Make those sponsors and fake sponsors actually worth it inside Road to the Show. And have more interactions with your teammates. There are so many players in baseball, it's insane. Maybe you have the ability to go up to any of your teammates, or your teammates go up to you, and then have a dialogue option. And maybe it helps team chemistry but ruins something else. You know, just stuff like that. Maybe before the game you're chatting with a person on the other team, and depending on what you say, changes stuff in the game. There's so many tiny little things they can add just to add a little more personality to Road to the Show. And I really wish some of this would happen. Thank you all for watching. We'll be getting to more MLB The Show wish lists and information later as the time goes. But do you have some that I missed that you want in this game? Put it down in the comments. Like and subscribe for more. Hit that alert icon for any time we post news on MLB The Show and many other games that we follow. My name's been Drew. Thank you for watching.